You're sitting in a dark room, the only light flickering erratically overhead. Suddenly you hear it. Footsteps, light but distinct, echoing down the hallway behind you. Your heart races as a strange, cold chill runs down your spine. Even though the windows are shut tight, you turn, expecting to see someone, but the room is empty. Was it just your imagination? Or is something more sinister at work? You might brush it off as coincidence, but what if it's not? What if these are signs, warnings from something beyond our understanding? Something that's been present in cultures and histories across the world for centuries. Evil spirits, lurking in the shadows, unseen but ever present. Many have felt their presence. People from all walks of life in every part of the world. Whether it's an unexplained whisper, a feeling of being watched, or something more terrifying, these signs are often overlooked, dismissed as just tricks of the mind. But what if I told you these signs could be your first warning that something darker is following you? In this video, we'll uncover 5 shocking signs that evil spirits may be lingering around you. And more importantly, we'll dive into the actions you can take right now to protect yourself before it's too late. I've spoken with dozens of people who have faced these very signs and didn't even realize what was happening until it was almost too late. Trust me, spiritual safety is something you can't afford to ignore. So I urge you, stay with me until the end. What you learn today could make all the difference in keeping yourself safe. Now that we've set the stage, let's dive into one of the most common and often overlooked signs that something supernatural may be following you. Unexplained electrical disturbances. You've probably experienced it before. Lights flickering, your TV turning on by itself, or your phone charging without any reason. At first, you may think it's just a glitch or a problem with the wiring, but what if it's more than that? What if spirits, those unseen forces, are actually using energy fields to make their presence known? It's not just a coincidence, and it's certainly not just a malfunctioning light bulb. Spirits are believed to manipulate energy, especially the electromagnetic fields, EMF, around us. These fields are all around us, in our phones, TVs, and even our lights. In fact, many paranormal researchers believe that spirits can tap into this energy to manifest in our world. It's as if they need this power to interact with our reality, and in the process, they disrupt the normal flow of electricity in your home. Now, let's talk about the signs you might notice. Have you ever had a light flicker out of nowhere, even though there's no storm outside? Maybe your TV turns on by itself, even though you're sure you turned it off earlier? Or have you heard strange static coming from a device that's unplugged? These are the subtle disturbances that spirits love to play with. In the world of the paranormal, electrical devices are like a playground. They are the bridge between their world and ours. I remember hearing a particularly unsettling story from a family who experienced something similar. They had a baby monitor in their child's room, and at night they would hear strange noises coming through it. The monitor would randomly flicker on, showing nothing but shadows moving across the walls. Shadows that weren't there when they went in to check. They replaced the batteries, bought a new monitor, and even called an electrician. But nothing worked. It wasn't until they had a spiritual cleansing of their home that the issue stopped. This wasn't a simple case of faulty equipment. Something more sinister was at work. So how do you know if what you're dealing with is just a normal electrical problem, or if it's something more supernatural? The difference is in the unpredictability. Normal electrical issues tend to have a pattern. Perhaps your lights flicker when you turn on the microwave, or your TV glitches during a thunderstorm. These can be explained by electrical overloads or poor wiring. But when spirits are involved, these disturbances happen randomly, without any pattern or logical explanation. Here's a simple test you can try next time you experience something strange. Let's say your lights flicker, or your TV turns on by itself. Calmly say out loud, "If you're here, make the lights flicker 3 times. This isn't just a gimmick. If the lights flicker in response, you're dealing with something beyond the ordinary. Spirits are known to interact with the environment around them in ways that defy natural laws. They can manipulate devices, drawing energy from them to make themselves known. Another test involves unplugging a device. Unplug your TV, your radio, or your phone charger. If it still makes noise or lights up, then you've got yourself a true anomaly. Spirits don't follow the physical limitations of electronics. They can cause these devices to act like they're still plugged in, even when they're not. It's one of the more unsettling aspects of dealing with paranormal activity, and it's something that many people experience without understanding why. If you've experienced these unexplained electrical disturbances, it's important to realize that this is often just the first sign. Spirits rarely make their presence known all at once. They start subtly with small disruptions to your daily life, testing the waters to see if you're paying attention. The more energy they gather from these disturbances, the more they can manifest and grow stronger in your environment. It's their way of communicating, a warning that something is lingering nearby, trying to make contact. So, if you've noticed these types of disturbances, don't ignore them. They might seem small at first, like a flickering light or a buzzing device, but they could be an early warning sign that something darker is following you. Spiritual attacks often begin this way, with seemingly harmless occurrences that escalate over time. The key is to stay aware and take action before it gets worse. Remember, spirits don't need permission to interact with your space, but you have the power to protect yourself. Don't wait until the signs become more obvious or frightening. Be proactive and take the necessary steps to protect yourself from whatever might be trying to make contact. Have you ever walked into a room and felt an immediate shift in the air? Maybe you felt a sudden heaviness settle in your chest or an overwhelming sense of dread that you couldn't explain. Your skin might have tingled, your breathing got heavier, and suddenly, everything in the room felt off. It's like the atmosphere changed in an instant, and no matter how hard you try to shake it off, it lingers. It's as though something is watching you, or worse, something is right there in the room with you, influencing the very air you breathe. This is one of the most unsettling signs that spirits are nearby. A shift in energy that you can feel physically. It's not just in your head. Your body is reacting to something unseen but very real. Often this is the first thing that people notice when they're in the presence of something paranormal. It's not just a bad mood or anxiety. It's a sudden, unexplainable change in the atmosphere that fills you with discomfort and unease. Pets and children are particularly sensitive to these shifts. They don't have the same filters that adults do. They're open to things we can't see or fully understand. Have you ever noticed your dog suddenly growling at a corner of the room where nothing is visible? Or your cat staring at an empty space, eyes wide with fear? Children, too, are known to be sensitive to this kind of energy. They'll sometimes act uneasy in a room for no reason, or even cry and refuse to go near certain places. These aren't just coincidences. pets and young kids can often sense the presence of spirits long before we do. Their heightened sensitivity, detecting shifts in the energy around them. But it's not just physical sensations and animal behavior that give these spirits away. They also manipulate emotions in subtle yet powerful ways. Have you ever felt an overwhelming surge of fear, sadness, or even anger out of nowhere? One moment, you're calm and collected, and the next, a wave of negative emotion crashes over you, leaving you confused and disoriented. This isn't a normal mood swing. It's often a sign that something supernatural is at play. Spirits can feed off your emotional energy, using it to fuel their presence and grow stronger in your environment. They can stir up negative emotions like fear or sadness, making you feel things that seem to come from nowhere, or intensifying feelings you might already have. There's a concept in the spiritual world called energy vampires, which refers to spirits or entities that feed off the emotional chaos they create. Imagine you're having a good day. Everything's going well, and suddenly, you're hit with an overwhelming sense of dread or sadness that you can't explain. This could very well be an energy vampire trying to feed off your emotional energy, draining your positivity and leaving you feeling exhausted and vulnerable. It's their way of staying connected to your world and gaining strength from your emotional turmoil. If you've experienced sudden emotional shifts without any obvious cause, take note of the patterns. When does this happen? Is there a particular time of day when you feel this way? Or is it always in certain locations, like a specific room or part of your house? Sometimes these emotional disturbances are tied to the presence of spirits who are drawn to certain times or spaces. They might be trying to communicate or influence your emotions in specific ways. Keeping track of these patterns can give you clues about where and when these spirits are most active. And don't brush it off as just a bad mood. This isn't just a vibe, it's a warning. When the energy around you shifts suddenly, or when you feel inexplicable emotional waves, it's not just your imagination running wild. Spirits have a way of manipulating the energy and atmosphere around them. And they use that manipulation to draw you in and make you more vulnerable. If you don't acknowledge these changes, you risk letting them gain more control over your emotions and your space. So next time you feel that heaviness or dread in a room, or if you notice that your emotional state has shifted for no reason, take it seriously. Spirits don't just manifest through flickering lights or strange noises. They can affect your very feelings, influencing you in ways that make you feel small, helpless, or scared. Recognizing these shifts early on is the first step in protecting yourself from their influence. Don't let their energy drain you. Be aware, stay alert, and take action before it spirals further. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night feeling like something wasn't quite right? It might have been that feeling of being watched, or the overwhelming sensation of fear creeping in as your body remains frozen in place. Sleep is supposed to be a time for rest, but for some, it becomes a battleground. The subconscious mind is especially vulnerable during sleep, and this is when spirits are most likely to invade, attempting to make their presence known in ways that leave us shaken and confused. One of the most disturbing signs that something supernatural is at play during your sleep is the experience of vivid, recurring nightmares. These aren't just ordinary dreams, they're dark, unsettling, and feel incredibly real. In these nightmares, you might find yourself being chased by a shadowy figure, unable to escape no matter how hard you try. Or perhaps you've experienced sleep paralysis where your body is awake, but you feel completely immobilized, as though some unseen force is holding you down. The terror you feel in these moments is unlike any other. Your mind is alert, but your body refuses to cooperate, leaving you trapped in a terrifying state of helplessness. The witching hour, typically between 3 and 4 a.m., is often cited as the time when spirits are most active. During these early hours, the veil between our world and the spirit realm is believed to be thinnest, allowing entities to slip through more easily. This is when the majority of paranormal disturbances are reported. Strange noises, eerie sensations, and terrifying visions. For many, this is the exact time when these nightmares and feelings of dread begin. If you've experienced something unsettling between these hours, you're not alone. It's a common phenomenon that has been observed across cultures and traditions for centuries. Another terrifying experience connected to spiritual disturbances during sleep is sleep paralysis. This phenomenon is known around the world, with different cultures offering their own explanations. In Newfoundland, it's called the Old Hag, where a dark figure is said to sit on your chest, making it hard to breathe or move. In Japan, the term kanashibari refers to the feeling of being bound or paralyzed by an invisible force. In both cases, people describe an overwhelming sense of being suffocated or trapped with no way to escape. The sensation of weight pressing on your chest, the cold breath on your neck, or the whispers in your ear. These are all terrifying signs that something supernatural may be at work. The feeling of weight on your chest during sleep paralysis is often described as if an invisible being is sitting on top of you, preventing you from moving or breathing properly. Some people report hearing faint whispers in the darkness, or the cold touch of breath against their skin. It's as if something or someone is in the room with you, making its presence known in a way that feels incredibly personal and threatening. These experiences leave a lasting impression, sometimes leading to a fear of sleeping altogether. If you've experienced these disturbances during your sleep, it's essential to take steps to protect yourself spiritually. There are several methods you can use to safeguard your rest and keep negative energies at bay. Many people find comfort in protective objects like crystals, crosses, or even simple items like salt placed near the bed or in the corners of your room. These objects are thought to serve as shields against evil spirits, creating a barrier that prevents them from entering your space. For centuries, cultures around the world have used these items in spiritual rituals to ward off negative energies. Another powerful way to protect yourself is by establishing sleep rituals that promote a sense of safety and peace before bed. Lighting a calming candle, meditating, or engaging in deep breathing exercises can help clear your mind and create a spiritual shield around you. Additionally, intentional affirmations are incredibly powerful. Before sleep, you can say things like, "I am safe, I am protected, and nothing can harm me during my rest." These positive affirmations not only calm your mind, but also send a message to any spirits or energies that may be trying to invade your space, letting them know that you are in control and you will not allow them to affect you. If these disturbances occur night after night, it's crucial to understand that they're not just a bad dream or a random occurrence. Repeated experiences of nightmares, sleep paralysis, or waking up at the witching hour with a sense of terror are signs that something deeper is happening. These aren't just figments of your imagination. They could be the result of an evil spirit attempting to attach itself to you or manipulate your sleep for its own purposes. Don't brush it off as just a coincidence or something that will eventually pass. The more you experience these spiritual disturbances, the stronger the connection becomes. and the harder it may be to break free. If it happens repeatedly, take action. Begin to protect yourself before you sleep, and reach out for help if you feel the need to. Your spiritual well-being is worth the effort, and being proactive can help prevent these disturbances from escalating. Sleep is meant to be a time of rest and rejuvenation, not fear and uncertainty. So if you find yourself haunted night after night, it's time to take control. And remember, this is not just a dream. As if the spiritual disturbances weren't enough, sometimes the presence of an evil spirit can escalate in such a way that it directly impacts your physical reality. At first, it might feel like nothing more than strange discomforts. Maybe you're waking up more tired than usual, or you're constantly feeling run down, even after a full night's sleep. You might notice that your extremities, your hands and feet, are unusually cold, as if all your energy is being drained away from you. This isn't just simple exhaustion. This is something deeper, a possible sign that an unseen force is siphoning off your life force, leaving you with an overwhelming sense of fatigue and weariness. Along with this drain on your physical energy, you might begin to feel phantom touches, a cold brush against your skin, as though someone's fingers are gently grazing your arm, or a sensation of your clothes being tugged as if someone is trying to get your attention. These touches are not physically explained by your environment, leaving you with an eerie feeling that something or someone is close, even when you're alone. At first, these sensations may seem innocent or even ignorable, but over time, they can grow in intensity, making it harder to deny that something otherworldly is involved. There are even more alarming occurrences where unexplained bruises, scratches, or burns appear on your body out of nowhere. The marks can show up after an unsettling encounter, and sometimes they can take on strange patterns, lines that almost look like they were made by something sharp or hot. These types of physical manifestations are among the most chilling signs that spirits have crossed into your personal space, especially when there is no reasonable explanation for the injuries. In many historical and cultural accounts, people who were believed to be haunted or under attack by spirits would wake up to find similar markings on their bodies with no clear cause. In some cases, these marks would even appear to be self-inflicted, though the person experiencing them had no memory of the event. While it's easy to jump to conclusions, it's important to rule out medical causes first. Conditions like sleepwalking, skin conditions, or even certain neurological disorders can sometimes lead to physical symptoms that mimic spiritual disturbances. If your doctor runs tests and the results come back clear, it may be time to consider the possibility that the cause is something more spiritual in nature. It's important not to ignore your health, but if all other explanations have been exhausted, you must begin looking into spiritual factors. The mind and body are deeply connected, but spirits too can influence your physical state in unsettling ways. When a spirit begins to manifest in the physical world around you, whether it's through unexpected fatigue, strange marks on your skin, or the unsettling feeling of being touched when you're alone, it signifies a major shift in the situation. Once spirits cross into your body, the boundary has been breached. It's no longer just about sensing their presence or feeling uncomfortable. It's about them affecting your very being. This is when the situation becomes far more serious, and you cannot afford to ignore it any longer. If these kinds of physical disturbances are happening to you, it's critical to take immediate action. Start by performing a cleansing ritual to rid your space of negative energy. Many people find comfort in burning sage or using other spiritual tools like holy water or crystals to purify their environment and protect their bodies. In addition, building up your spiritual defenses, such as setting boundaries through prayer or affirmations, can help safeguard you against further intrusions. If you're feeling overwhelmed, don't hesitate to seek professional help. There are spiritual practitioners like mediums or energy healers who can help you identify the source of the disturbance and guide you in properly addressing it. Remember, your physical body is a sacred space, and once a spirit begins affecting it, the stakes are much higher. The longer you wait to address these disturbances, the more difficult it may become to regain control of your body and energy. These are not minor signs. They are serious warnings that demand your attention. Don't you let the physical manifestations continue unchecked. Take action now to protect yourself and your loved ones from the influence of evil spirits. As we reach the final sign, we delve into something both mysterious and intriguing: the language of symbols. It might sound odd at first, but spirits often communicate through patterns, numbers, and objects that appear over and over again in your life. These aren't mere coincidences. They can be signs, signaling their presence or even sending a message. Have you ever found yourself repeatedly seeing certain numbers, like 333 or 666, no matter where you look? Perhaps you've noticed a particular animal showing up again and again, such as ravens or moths, both of which have been historically linked to spiritual realms. Or maybe your child has drawn strange, unsettling pictures, images that seem to carry a deeper meaning, perhaps depicting figures or symbols you don't recognize. These symbols can be unsettling, especially when they seem to appear everywhere you go. The question often arises: is it simply a coincidence, or is something more significant at play? Spirits often use these symbols to communicate, and their messages are usually too precise and repeated to be brushed off as random. These recurring patterns aren't just a quirk of fate, they are spiritual signals, and often they come when you need them most. For instance, in some cases, spirits use signs to mark territory, or even more unsettling, to mock faith. A common example of this is the appearance of 3 scratches, a sign some believe is the mark of demonic activity, as it mimics the holy number 3, but in a twisted and defiant way. This pattern of symbolic communication has existed for centuries, from the medieval scrolls filled with cryptic symbols to the modern-day digital glitches on our phones and computers. Signs from the spirit world have always found a way to sneak into our lives. Sometimes, these signs appear when we least expect it. A phone screen might glitch, showing strange symbols or patterns that don't belong. Or a text message might come through with random gibberish, leaving you wondering if it's just a technical issue or something more. If you've experienced something like this, you're not alone. It's becoming more common as technology evolves, and spirits seem to have found new ways to communicate through these platforms. One way to track these occurrences is to start journaling the unusual patterns. Write down the times, the emotions you were feeling, and the context in which the symbol appeared. What were you doing at the time? Did it seem to align with anything significant in your life, or did it happen completely out of the blue? By keeping track of these patterns, you might begin to see connections that weren't obvious at first. Over time, you'll likely notice certain signs repeating in very specific ways that make you realize this isn't just random chance. It's spiritual communication, and it's happening on purpose. It's also essential to pay attention to how personal these signs become. Initially, you might see a number or an animal that seems disconnected from you. But when the message starts to target your personal life, when the symbols appear directly tied to your experiences, your fears, or your hopes, that's when the danger becomes much more real. This is no longer just a random coincidence. It's a deliberate and personal form of spiritual interaction. And at this point, you can't afford to ignore it. So, whether it's a repetitive number, an animal that keeps crossing your path, or something even stranger like symbols in your dreams or drawings by children, these are not things to brush off lightly. Spirits communicate through these signs, and the more personal and consistent the symbols become, the more serious the threat can be. When a sign feels like it's directly speaking to you, that's when it's time to act. Don't wait for it to escalate. Start observing, journaling, and seeking spiritual guidance to decode what these messages might mean before things go further. Remember, the language of spirits is often subtle, but their messages can be clear when we're tuned into them. Trust your instincts and don't dismiss the small signs that might seem insignificant at first. They could be the key to understanding what's really happening around you. Once you've recognized the signs, it's time to take action. Acknowledging the presence of spirits is only the first step. Now, you need to protect yourself and reclaim your space. The next step is to verbally declare your boundaries. You have the power to take control over what enters your life, so make sure to state it clearly. A powerful declaration you can say out loud is, "I reject all spirits that do not serve my highest good." This simple statement helps to establish an energetic boundary, telling any spirits or energies that they are no longer welcome in your space. It's not just about resisting, but about reclaiming your power, taking control of your environment and your energy. Next, it's time to cleanse your space. There are many ways to purify your home and protect yourself from negative energies. One of the most common methods is smudging, which involves burning sage or Palo Santo wood. As the smoke rises, it helps to clear away stagnant or harmful energies, leaving the space feeling lighter and more peaceful. While smudging, you can move through each room of your house, setting the intention that any negative energy is being removed. Another popular method is sprinkling salt in the corners of your rooms. Salt is believed to absorb negative energy, and placing it in the corners of a room can help keep harmful spirits at bay. It's a simple yet effective practice that can be done regularly to maintain spiritual cleanliness in your environment. Using bells, chimes, or singing bowls is another way to cleanse the energy around you. The sound vibrations from these instruments can help break up dense negative energy and restore balance to the space. You can play these instruments in each room or even just hold them, while focusing on the intention of clearing away any unwanted energy. If you follow a specific religious or spiritual tradition, prayers or psalms from your faith can also be powerful cleansing tools. Whether you're reciting verses from the Bible, using affirmations, or calling on your spiritual guides, the key is to align your cleansing rituals with your personal beliefs. What matters most is your intent and the repetition of the practice. Consistency is essential to creating a protective barrier around yourself and your home. For those who are just starting on their spiritual protection journey, there are simple rituals you can do regularly to ensure your space remains clean. For example, you can light a candle with the intention of protection or use a small bell to ring out any unwanted energies. These rituals don't need to be complex. They just need to be meaningful to you. Think of spiritual cleansing and protection as part of your daily routine, just like brushing your teeth. It doesn't need to take much time, but regular practices will keep you grounded and safe. Whether you cleanse your space once a week or daily, the key is making it a consistent part of your life. Remember, rebuking negative spirits isn't just about resistance. It's about asserting your power and reinforcing your boundaries. By using these cleansing and protective rituals, you're not only fighting against unwanted forces, you're creating a space of peace and strength, one where you hold the power. Stay consistent, stay grounded, and most importantly, reclaim your power. Let's quickly recap the 5 signs we've covered. Unexplainable electrical disturbances, a shift in the energy and atmosphere around you, spiritual disturbances during sleep, physical manifestations on your body or environment, and symbols or patterns that seem to follow you. Ignoring these signs can be dangerous, and it's important to recognize them early. You're not imagining this. Evil spirits are real, and they often target those who are unaware or unprepared. These spirits can cause harm if left unchecked, which is why it's crucial to take action as soon as you notice these signs. Now, it's time for you to take control of your spiritual safety. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe for more spiritual protection knowledge and guidance. Like and share this video with others who might be suffering in silence, unaware of the signs they should be looking for. And don't forget to click on the suggested video for advanced protection methods to strengthen your defenses further. Remember, you have authority and you have power. It's up to you to protect yourself and your space. Don't let any spirit take control. Use your power to stay safe, grounded, and protected.